Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to my first session of The Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall. This game came out in 1996 for the PC. You might be familiar with The Elder Scrolls from the incredibly popular Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, but this is The Elder Scrolls II. It predates it by a number of years. It is very, very different. It is a lot more complicated. And I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I played a ton of this as a kid. I am using a open source reimagining of the engine called Daggerfall Unity. What Daggerfall Unity does is it takes the original game files. You still have to have a copy of the game to do this. Uh, but it recreates the engine so that it works on modern hardware. It fixes a whole bunch of bugs, which we'll get into. Some of these are very disappointing bug fixes. But it just makes it so that it's no hassle trying to get it running on a modern computer. This was a DOS game originally, and it can be a bit of a hassle to try and get something this old to run on a modern system in a way that we are used to a game just, sort of working. I am going to start a whole new character. Like I said, this is the first play session. I've played a little bit of this to refresh myself, and I will try and walk you through the process, explaining things as I go. If you are watching and you are in the chat, feel free to ask questions. It's a pretty complicated process, especially if you're playing something like Skyrim these days, where basically you choose your appearance and your character's race and you just start playing. This is a lot more involved. So we're just going to get started here. And the first thing you do is you select your home province. So this is the Empire of Tamriel. If you have played other Elder Scrolls games, the previous one, the first Elder Scrolls game, Arena, it took place in this entire area here. Daggerfall basically takes place in Hammerfell and High Rock, so we're going to have this sort of area in here we're going to be exploring as we play, around the Iliac Bay here. The next game in the series is Morrowind, and it takes place in Morrowind. Then there was Oblivion, which took place in the Imperial Province. And then finally Skyrim, which took place in, you guessed it, Skyrim. Now in the meantime, the map has sort of been reimagined, so this doesn't exactly look like how the modern map of the world does. And there have been a few other retcons that have happened in the meantime. I'll try and go over them as I remember them. It's been a while since I played Skyrim or Morrowind, or even Oblivion. Oblivion, almost forgot about it. But I'll try and walk you through if you're familiar with those newer games. One thing to note is that Imperial is not something you can choose. I'm actually clicking right now. There is no Imperial race to choose from at this stage of the game. That doesn't happen until Morrowind, the next game in the series. And we are basically always going to pick a high elf from Somerset Isle when we're playing this game. So they're from the province of Somerset. We're tall, golden-skinned, intelligent, agile, and willful. But the big thing here is that we are immune to paralysis. That is really great. Even though some bugs, which I'll get into in a bit, have been patched out of the game, it's very sad. There used to be a really cool exploit. But for right now, we're going to pick High Elf anyway. And we're just going to make him a dude. Now, next choice is we have to pick our class. Our class determines what skills we are good at. There will be a number to choose from. We can choose a list from a list of pre-generated or create our own. That's what we're going to do eventually. Or we can also generate our class by answering these personality test type questions. So we're going to do that just because it's fun. and then we're going to create our own custom class. So here is the personality test that will supposedly show us what kind of a character we should be in this game. So while throwing a ball to you, your friend breaks a window on his house. His father rushes out and demands to know who broke the window. You know that your friend's father is a strict disciplinarian and will punish your friend severely if he takes the blame. You, on the other hand, not being his son, could get away virtually unscathed. Do you raise your hand and take the blame before your friend can answer? Remain silent and not get involved? Or point at your friend, knowing that anything else would probably delay the inevitable and make things just that much worse for him? Well, I'm just going to take the blame. If my friend's dad isn't going to beat me, I'm going to do that. So the senior student in your weapons class has trounced you unmercifully for the past several years. Today is the tournament of students, and you find with dismay that you are paired against him for your first match. As you prepare, your friend approaches and offers to tell you of an injury the senior student suffered in yesterday's sparring class, which you missed. Do you A. Accept the offer, knowing that it would allow you to concentrate on the injured area and greatly increase your chances of beating him? B. Refuse the offer, knowing that win or lose, you would rather do it through your own skill and not some extra knowledge in what should be a fair and honorable fight? Or C. Accept the offer, reasoning that it is better to have the knowledge in case you need it, realizing that having the knowledge did not necessarily mean using it. Let me see. So this is a student who kicks my ass all the time, huh? You know, I'm going to accept the offer, and I'm only going to use it if I absolutely have to. You and your best friend buy your first daggers together, a matched pair, as all best friends do. You loan him the amount since he doesn't have enough gold, and he agrees to pay you back later. After leaving the shop, you and he sit down to marvel at your new weapons. To your dismay, you notice that there is a small notch on the blade of the dagger you selected. Your friend asks you to please watch his weapon for him while he runs an errand. Do you A. Wait for your friend's return and then point out the flaw in your dagger and return to the weapons shop to demand a refund? B. Switch the daggers, rationalizing that since you paid for them, you should get the first choice, and that if your friend ever notices the notch, you could always take him back to the weapon shop and get a refund? Or C. Keep the dagger safe until his return, then switch the daggers with your best friend's knowledge, justifying it with the fact that you paid for them, and then offer to accompany him back to the weapons shop. Okay, that is quite the dilemma. I think what I am going to do is just wait for my friend, and then we can go complain to the weapon seller. That doesn't seem that complicated. So I hear the arms master remark during weapons class. The intent of your opponent can be seen in his blade. Many of the students scoff at this, though not openly. Do you A. Feel that the disrespect the students show at this points to something which they do not understand, and therefore causes you to focus your efforts on understanding it all the more? B. Feel that he means the way the opponent attacks and moves shows you how he feels? Or C. Realize that Arms Master Fastel should not be the object of scorn, but rather one of respect, for he has lived a full life and survived things none of the students could imagine. Well, I figure he's a professional. He's got this job. I'm going to try and understand it a little better. You are told that a young man has been caught by the village guards and accused of murder. Apparently, his brother was killed by a group of 4 ruffians in a local tavern, and in his grief, the young man tracked each of them down and murdered them. Upon reflection, you believe that A. The young man acted honorably in avenging his brother's death. The village lord should let him go free. B, even as you sympathize with the young man, violating the law cannot be tolerated if there is to be peace. Or C, the young man's only mistake was getting caught while exacting vengeance. For that, hey, Mr. Tibbs, he is a nice cat. For that, he must now accept whatever fate has in store for him. I'm just going to say this dude is totally in the right and he should go free. The town has a lottery in which the winning chit is called. You look in shock as the winning chit number matches your own. Before you can say anything, another family walks forward. You have seen them before and you know they are extremely poor. Your family, on the other hand, could do without the 100 gold piece prize. Do you A, say nothing and allow the other family to claim the prize? B, stand and show your chit, knowing that the prize is rightfully yours? Or C, stand and show your chit and offer to split the prize in half with the other family? Well, it said my family doesn't need it, so I'm just going to say nothing and let them have the money. A boat I am in is suddenly caught in a tremendous whirlpool. As the current reaches an impossible velocity, the little boat begins springing leaks and starts to sink under the vortex. You can see no other way out that does not promise death, so you, A, pick up a bucket and begin bailing furiously, hoping to keep the boat afloat just a few more seconds. B, sit back and accept your fate, choosing to die with a sense of decorum and nobility, not as a commoner who fears the unknown. C, dive into the churning current. You may only be hastening your own death, but at least you are doing something. I am going to say I'm going to dive into the water and see if I'm as strong a swimmer as I think I am. Your arms master poses a question one day to his class. A company of 100 men is attempting to flee from the enemy. There are two paths out of the broken stronghold. One path will kill half the men under the officer's command, but the other half would survive. The other path has a 50% chance that everyone would die, but also a 50% chance that everyone would survive. As the commanding officer, would you choose the path that would guarantee half your men would survive? B, choose the path that has a 50% chance that all would survive and a 50% chance that all would perish? Or C, turn the choice over to the men and let them decide by majority vote which path they should commit themselves to? I say we vote on it. You have a great aunt and a great uncle living in two different nearby villages, both of whom have asked your father to allow you to live with them for a few weeks. Your father knows where he plans to send you, but is curious about your opinion. Given the choice, would you rather A, live with your great aunt, a wise old woman of considerable wealth? Living in luxury for a few weeks could not only be enlightening, it could also be very interesting. Or B, live with my great uncle, a sick old man who has always been something of a stranger to you. A few weeks with him may be arduous, but he is in more need of your help than your great aunt. Or C, think of a way to divide my time between my great aunt and my great uncle. Perhaps you will not be able to spend as much time with either as much as you would like, but neither should be left out. I'm going to go live with the great uncle because rich people are awful. Entering town, you find that you are a witness to a very well-dressed man running away from a crowd. He screams at you for help. The crowd behind him seems very angry. Do you A, rush to the man's aid immediately, despite your lack of knowledge of the circumstances? B, rush to the town's aid immediately, despite your lack of knowledge of the circumstances? Or C, stand aside and allow the man and mob to pass, realizing it's probably best not to get involved? I'm going to help the guy, and once we sort things out, if the mob needs to get him, I'll let the mob get him. But right now, it looks like he needs help. So the personality test determined that I should be a ranger, which means I am good at long blade, axe, climbing, swimming, archery, and critical striking. Do I wish my character to be a ranger? No, I do not. So here's what would have happened if we just asked to select from a list. It'll show us the list. All sorts of pre-made classes. They all kind of suck. So we're basically always going to make a custom class, which means we have to choose how to distribute our stats here. We have to choose our primary, major, and minor skills. And we can also add special advantages and disadvantages and choose how many hit points we're going to gain when we level. So, like most RPGs that have hit points, the number of hit points you have determines how much damage you can take before you die. So the first thing I am going to do, and watch this little dagger here as I do this, is I am going to pump up the number of hit points I am going to gain every time I gain enough experience to level. So what this dagger signifies is how difficult it is for me to practice and improve my skills. Now, your skills leveling up is what causes your overall character level to level up. So to get these hit points and other advantages, I actually have to increase my profession's skills. The higher I raise this dagger, the harder it is, the more practice I need to be able to raise these skills. So what we're going to try and do during character creation is balance it out. So we try and keep the dagger around average. It's not going to be super easy to level up, but we don't want to be super handicapped by the disadvantages we give ourselves so that it's too easy, but also we're just not very powerful. So to start off with, I am going to say right off the bat that I'm interested in playing a character that can do a little bit of combat, but is pretty good at magic and can sneak around a bit. So a jack of all trades kind of character. So what that means is we're going to have to pick a skill associated with the type of weapon we want to use all the time. And because I like swords, I'm just going to go straight down and choose long blade. That will be our primary weapon type. And, sometimes weapons aren't going to cut it, depending on what kind of enemy we're coming up against. So I am going to choose Destruction Magic as my second primary skill. Destruction Magic will let me, cast fireballs and shoot lightning out of my fingers and all sorts of fun stuff. And it can help me when my weapons don't help me. So if an enemy is immune to a particular weapon I have, magic can usually do the trick. And the third thing I'm going to add, because I want to sneak around, is stealth. And what stealth does is it's basically always on. It assumes I'm always trying to sneak when there are enemies around, and there's a chance that enemies just won't notice me. So for my other major skills, I basically want Critical Strike, which gives me... It's not like Critical Strikes in other games where it gives me a chance to to deal extra damage. It actually increases... We're back. Lost my mic for a second. So, Critical Strike is our next major skill. We are going to add some more magic schools. So we're going to choose Restoration, which is very important because it allows us to heal ourselves. We are going to choose, let's see here, Mysticism. Mysticism is very important because it gives us the recall spell, which will let us teleport back to the beginning of a dungeon when we enter it. The dungeons in this game, you'll see very shortly, are incredibly huge. They are very complicated. They are maze-like, and honestly, you don't want to have to retrace your steps. You're just going to recall back to the beginning of the dungeon when you're done down there. Next, let's choose Thaumaturgy, another magic school. We will choose Alteration, another magic school. Let's see what else we have left. Looks like illusion is the only magic school we have left, so we're going to choose that. So we are practiced in all the schools of magic. And we have 3 more minor skills to add. So I'm going to give myself a secondary type of weapon. And I'm going to say blunt weapons. So that's maces, hammers, staves, that kind of thing. What else have we got here? I am going to add running so that we get less tired when we are running. And I am going to add backstabbing so that when we attack an enemy from behind, we will have a chance to deal some extra damage there. So, as you can see, my dagger is pretty high. So we're going to edit our special disadvantages, and these are special weaknesses I can add to my character. First thing I'm going to do is give myself a critical weakness to disease. Now, what this is going to do is make it so I am extremely likely to catch a disease from any kind of wild animal that can do that to me. That's not really that big a deal in this game. You can buy potions that cure disease very easily. We're going to have spells that will do it. We can visit temples and get cured. It's really not that big a deal, and if you watch, it actually lowered my difficulty dagger quite a bit. We're almost at average now just from that one disadvantage. But we're going to keep going because I want to add some advantages down the line. So we are going to give ourselves a forbidden armor type. And I'm going to say no leather. That doesn't really lower it that much. Let's give ourselves another forbidden armor type. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's give ourselves a forbidden material. So weapons in the game, like later Elder Scrolls games, are made of different materials. Iron being the least powerful and Daedric being the most powerful. And I will just say that I am not allowed to use steel, which will really drop that. And I will also say that I am not allowed to use orcish weapons. They're actually very uncommon in this game, so this is not as much of a disadvantage as this dagger seems to indicate. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that my magic is darkness powered, which means either I can't use magic as well or I am completely unable to use magic in daylight. And I'm going to say I'm completely unable to use magic in daylight. This is great. The big thing being, hardly anything we're going to do that requires magic is going to take place in daylight. We are basically always going to be in a dungeon, which is dark, and our magic will work. So this is great. This isn't unable to use magic during the daytime. This is unable to use magic in daylight. So if we're outside, we're generally safe. We don't need magic. It'll be just fine. So I think I'm done with that right now. But before we move on, I'll actually talk about one of those bugs that I mentioned earlier. So if you remember, we created a high elf character, and high elves are immune to paralysis. What you used to be able to do when I played this game as a kid is you could give yourself a critical weakness to paralysis when you were a high elf, and your immunity to paralysis would overrule it. So you would get that drop in how difficult it is to raise your skills, but you would still be immune to paralysis. So it was basically a free way to make things easier for yourself. Let's move on to special advantages. So the number one thing is we want increased magery. The points you use, called magicka, to cast your spells are actually in really limited supply in this game. So we are going to say that our maximum magicka is 3 times our intelligence in spell points. And you see, that's a huge advantage. Let's see. What else do I want here? I am going to give us an expertise in long blade, which means I'm just that much better with long blade weapons. Is there anything else I want? This is all pretty alright stuff. Could give myself bonus to hit. That gives me a bonus to hit different animals. Acute hearing is exactly that. We'll just hear the noises enemies make from further away. Already gave herself increased magery. Rapid healing determines how well you heal when you're sleeping or resting. Regenerate health will regenerate health under particular conditions. So in darkness, that's great. Perfect. It's exactly what I want. All right. So now we have to play with our stats here. If we raise one of them, like I'm raising my strength here, you see this minus 25. It means I have to distribute negative 25 points somewhere in here. And I'm going to do it again to my intelligence here. So we're going to have to take away 10 points to our personality. We're going to take away 10 points from our speed. We're going to take away 10 points from our endurance. Personality is kind of important. We're going to take 5 points away from that. We're going to take 5 points away from that. 5 points away from that. And yeah, we'll just be pretty slow. We'll be able to improve that. But for now, we're going to be pretty slow. And that's it. So this is our class. It's all planned out now. We should be able to handle pretty much anything the game throws at us. We're going to be able to raise our stats pretty easily. And the most important thing is we have to name our class. And I am just going to call it a smell sword, because it is a variation of the ever popular spell sword class. Here we go. Next, background. So we're going to choose our character's career path. These are just some extra bonuses and maybe some items we might get as we start the game. Depending on the skills we picked in the previous section, we're going to have a different set of questions to answer. So after the College of Destruction, what school of magic have you been studying the longest? I am going to say Restoration. What motivates me into a life of adventure? I am going to say Fame. In between formal study, I spent my time. I am going to say learning economics. Since childhood, I have saved. I'm going to say a katana, because that sounds fun. In gratitude for services rendered, the Emperor gave you. I'm going to say an ebony dagger. Ebony is a very powerful material for a weapon to be made out of. It'll let us hit enemies that are immune to many other types of weapons. Really great thing to have at the beginning of the game. So as I grew older, I received additional magical training in. I'm going to boost my destruction. I spend any free time I have training with. I'm going to boost my long blade again. And I am friendlier than most with, let's just say, the immodest nymphs, because they're fun. Of all the disagreeable types, I have the most personal hatred for power-mad robber barons, obviously. And I would say I am probably intimate friends with a monk. Do I worship any gods? No, I do not. And I would say, just like in real life, I probably have the hardest time staying awake and alert. So based on my question answers, you can see that my reputation changed with a couple different types of people. So scholars and underworld figures will think a little better of me. Everyone else, more or less unchanged. So now we have to name ourselves. So I am going to call myself Ulbrendt the Unready. And we are going to choose a portrait. Scroll through the options here, see what we can find. Okay, well, clearly that one's the best. Now we are going to roll some dice to get our final stats. Going to try and get our personality and endurance above 50 if we can, but we shall see. Just like old school D&D, we are rolling the dice, trying to get the score we want. That is pretty good. That's pretty good. It's decent. You know, I don't need to raise personality more than that. I'm going to bring my agility up so I don't have a penalty to it. So we're pretty good here. This looks great. I'm happy with this. So we're just going to start. Now we're going to start the actual... Oh, no. One more step. One more step. So we've got some bonuses we can add to our scores in our various skills. I'm going to try and evenly spread them here. As evenly as possible. Restoration. Pretty decent. So reflexes is just how fast the game moves. I always keep it at average. It's not an action game. There's no need to make it an action game. It's not fun as an action game. So we're just going to leave the speed the way it is. And here we are. This is our character. He is all planned out. Ulbrendt the Unready is ready. Here we go.
400 years after Septim's reign, the beginning will meet the end, and the bloody circle will close at the Empire of Tamriel. The unworthy heirs of the Septim dynasty have allowed the bonds of the Empire to weaken and crack. Uriel Septim, the Seventh, cannot repair what his ancestors ignored. The provinces fight among themselves like neglected children, drunk with rebellion, and one indomitable power hides itself, but not forever.
Very sinister, very sinister. Oh, yeah, we got full motion video here. You're going to love this. This is old school computer games. 90s style. Actors.
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field of battle. He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are. I did grieve for him, but his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge.
Ghosts.
I do not know why a good and loyal man would be so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer.
All right. So, they sent me on a boat to Daggerfall. Big storm. Boat was destroyed. Swam to a rock, found a cave. Mudslide sealed me inside. All right. Thankfully, I'm not buried alive. There is a way out of the cave. I'm not going to use the tutorial. But here we are. All right. We're definitely stuck in here. We gotta explore. See exactly what's going on. So first off, we'll just bring up our character. Here we are. Ulbrendt is smiling. He's ready for adventure. Ulbrendt the Unready, our high elf smell sword. Let's see what he's got in his inventory. Okay. So he's got a katana. He's got that ebony dagger we talked about, and he's got an iron longsword. So let's just look at them. The katana does 2 to 15 points of damage. The longsword does 1 to 15, so the katana is slightly better. And the ebony dagger is 5 to 10. So we're just going to equip the katana in his main hand and the ebony dagger in his offhand. We can only use one at a time, but we'll be able to switch between them. And that's literally all we're carrying aside from some gold. And we are going to save our game. And I am going to do this 1,000,000 times. Get our weapon out. We will slowly see what's going on. I hear something moving up ahead. Squeaking. Oh, it's a rat! Okay, okay. No treasure on the rat, though. Some treasure here. Some gold and some sandals. Let's put the sandals on. We're barefoot. Right. Onward. Something. Looks like a bat, and we have successfully... Oh, I thought we'd snuck up on it. Yeah. Whew. Bat doesn't have any treasure either. Something sounds really scary. Just gonna save our game again. And I think, if I remember correctly, there is an imp in this room. And imps are immune to iron weapons. So he might kick our butt. Okay, we got him with the ebony dagger. That's good. So he's got some gold. He's carrying werewolf's blood for some reason. A small scorpion stinger. Hey, Jeremy, how are you doing? And a talisman. So we're going to grab that. And we are going to switch back to our main weapon. It's going well. We have created our character, and we are exploring our first dungeon. This is Ulbrendt the Unready, and he is actually ready for some fun. But first he needs to save his game. Let's see what's over here. Got some gold, a root bulb. Looks good. I hear more squeaking. Let's proceed. Let's see what's in this room. Ah, another rat! Whew. look like anything else in this room. Interesting. So we can go forward or we can go down here. Oh. Oh, this person is no good. Pooh! They hurt us bad. So if you look in the lower left corner there, the green bar that is almost gone, that is our health. The red bar is our fatigue. So what do we got here? We have gold pieces, a steel saber. Remember when we created our character, we're actually unable to use steel equipment, but we're very strong, so we're going to pick up the steel stuff and pick it up and bring it with us to town so that we can sell it later. If we look here, here are our restrictions, our special abilities. You're not allowed to use steel, we're not allowed to use orcish equipment, and we are not allowed to use leather. So I don't think we have anything we can actually use that we found. Not allowed to use leather. Nope, so that's just stuff we're gonna sell. Can't equip it. Anything in this pile of heads? Nope. What about in here? More gold. Okay. So I'm gonna try and rest. First, I'm gonna save my game. We're gonna try and rest and heal up. Wrong button. There we go. I'm gonna rest until we're healed. Bang. Healed. We're gonna save our game again. It was originally, Jeremy. I'm using a program called Daggerfall Unity, which recreates the engine for modern PCs. It also fixes a lot of bugs that were in the original game. I was explaining earlier that we can't use any of the old character creation exploits that I used to cheese the game with when I was a kid. But you still require the original game to play it. It's just the engine, it doesn't have any of the game content. Thankfully, Daggerfall is actually free if you go to Bethesda's website. Bad attack. Whew. Yeah, so Daggerfall is free if you go to Bethesda's website. And so is Daggerfall Unity. You can play it just like I'm playing now. It's pretty great. There's a guy in here. I don't think he knows I'm here yet. I'm being very stealthy. Oh, now he knows I'm here. Oh, he hits hard. I am going to try and use a shock spell on him. Okay. No one's wearing clothes in here. It's really strange. I don't know what kind of dungeon this is, but it's different. All sorts of good stuff. You would think. So, let's see if I can use any of that equipment. Did I get any armor I can use? I can't use the leather. I can't use the steel. I can use the chain. And I can use the iron. So I've got a little bit of armor. I'm going to be less cold now. We're going to save our game again. As you saw, I could easily die at any moment in here. So I'm just going to run away from these unexplored areas. And I'm going to try and rest again. Perfect. And my dodging skill improved. Onward. Big room here. I think that bat spotted me. Oh, that's a Skelly Man. I hate Skelly Men. Whew. He's got some stuff I'm gonna take too. You're rats. Is that a bear sticking his face through the door? I'm just gonna avoid him for now. Anything back here? What is this? That looks like a secret door. This is the first dungeon. So they've got some nice torches here to draw our attention to it. Pretty sure that's the secret door. Yeah. Ow. It's a tough bat. So I'm starting to get a little bit lost. So let's look at our map, and you're going to see just how huge the dungeons are in this game. Okay, so here we are. And this was actually pretty groundbreaking at the time, that you had this massive 3D map that you could fly around in and figure out exactly where you were. So there's the room we started in. And we're over here now. Continue cautiously exploring. Empty room. Doesn't have a closet. Nothing in the walk-in closet. Stairs. If you watch in the lower left, you'll see that regenerate health in darkness is working well for us. We're slowly healing. Ah, it's a rat. Yikes. What's locked? Alright. Well, it's a locked door. I do not have any spells that I can use to open this lock, and I don't have lock picking as a skill. So I'm just going to try and smash the door open. There we go. Pile of treasure. Spider's venom. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yep. When all else fails, smash the door open. Eventually, we'll run into doors we can't do that with. But for now, we can generally smash stuff open. Okay, that door's closed, so I probably haven't been there. Left. I am almost dead again. So I might try and rest. Uh-oh, I heard a door opening. There are enemies nearby. Well, yeah, that's where I'm hiding. Oh no! So the half-naked guy got me. Very sad. End of my story. Alright, we'll just load that game. Okay. So, let's just heal right here if we can. You can see our magic regenerating. Perfect. Save our game now that we're all healed up. So that was death number 1. We're doing pretty well for a Daggerfall playthrough. Smash this lock open again. Open up. Yeah. Grab that treasure. And now we should be a little more prepared. Okay. There he is. We're gonna try and shock this guy this time. Oh, he's an archer. Okay, I see what's going on. Pick up your stuff. Got him. Way easier. So much stuff. Nothing I can use, though. Basically, I'm restricted to iron at this stage. We're going to find a lot of steel items, but I disallowed myself from using them. So we're just going to have to go without. To be leading us upward. Okay, and this looks like that big room we were in earlier where we fought the bat and the skeleton. Okay. A rat. Oh, and something's killing rats besides us. I hear something happening. Something's killing bats. I hear another skeleton screaming. Which is, you know, a thing that skeletons do. Never shutting up, those skeletons. Oh, there's an imp in there. I gotta switch my weapon to something that can hurt it. My iron won't do anything against an imp. Got him. And switch back, because in general, my iron sword is better. And that's the way out of the dungeon right there, actually. This right here is a dungeon exit. So we're going to save the game. And you know... Oh yeah, all the sprite art is great. Lots of skulls. I don't think we're done in here. I've got... What more can I carry? I can carry about 30 pounds more, 40 pounds more. I think we're going to go back in until we've totally explored the dungeon. We're going to see what else we can get out. First, though, Oh, I was going to say let's rest first. But it looks like... There we go. Perfect. Let's save and head back inside. So we know that this is the way out. I hear that skeleton. It's getting closer. Oh, there he is. Tough, man. It's gonna kill me. Death number 2. And we're just gonna skip the video this time. Ulbrendt, you are unready. Let's try that again. Tough guy. Got him. Used up all our spell points to do it. But we got him. Oh, and we got a better weapon. So Elven, as you can see. So my Iron Katana does 2 to 15 points of damage. My Elven Katana does 4 to 17. I'm going to equip that. That's much better. There we go. Save our game. And what's through here? Looks like basically nothing. This is just where that skeleton was living. Let's try resting. Nope, can't rest. Enemies nearby. Onward. Can we rest here? We can rest here. Oh, we leveled up. Perfect. So, basically, we get a number of points to spend on our attributes every time we level up. And I think what is suffering right now is our speed. Do I want to dump all my points into it? I'm not going to dump all my points into it. I'm going to bring my intelligence to 85 as well. That'll give me a little more magicka to spend on spells. Oh, it's a rat. Get out of here. Yeesh. Now let's try resting again. We are healed. Save the game. Onward. Someone's in there. Another skeleton? Come on. Hate these guys. Oh, he's got... Looks like a magic shirt. Cool. We don't actually know what it does yet. We've got to take it to town to figure it out. But it's very clearly magical, this shirt. Steel Warhammer, that's good stuff. Great, I can still carry all this. Oh, this place looks nasty. Torture going on here. Yeah, clearly some nasty things happening in this room. Can we rest? Yes, let's rest. Medical skill improved. So what medical does is it lets the amount you heal while you're resting be higher. That's literally all medical does. It doesn't help you while you're actually playing. It only helps. This is creepy. Alright. So let's get out of here. So medical only helps when you're resting. It won't help you regenerate health during the rest of the game. And once we learn a few restoration spells, we're really not going to use medical all that much. It's one of the reasons I didn't choose it as a character skill when we were creating our class. Alright, where else have we not explored? Man, this dungeon's big. This is just the starter dungeon. Okay, okay. Can we jump down there without hurting ourselves? Nope. Sounds like something's in there. Save our game. Iron dye katana, which I think is a two-handed katana. Can't carry any more stuff. All right. That's fine. That's a bear. Yeesh. They got everything in here. This is a very strange place to end up trapped. Steep incline. Rats. Oh, and we're back here. So I believe before we went this way. Yeah. Right, alright. So it looks like another door down there we haven't opened. I'm going to try and rest up a bit so we've got some magic to deal with what looks like a bear on the other side of the door. Oh yeah, it's a bear. Anything in the bear's walk-in closet? Nothing. So I think we've pretty much cleared this dungeon. From the look of things. So we just need to make our way over here to the exit. That's what that green thing is. So let's go. Oh, an orc. Maybe we didn't explore down this way. Elven boots, I will take those. Well, I can't carry anymore, so I gotta drop some stuff. I am just going to drop that, drop that. I don't need any of this leather. Leather's not worth much money anyway. Iron boots. Can't use that plate armor because I can't use steel. Alright. Where are my cool new boots? There they are. Perfect. Elven boots. Thanks, orc. That's a big skull. Alright, alright. Creepy room. Let's find the way out of here. Oh, here's a closed door. Oh man, there's a whole wing we haven't explored. Okay. So that's an imp. I'm gonna switch to my ebony because I don't remember. Elven can hurt imps. Okay. Treasure on the other side there, I think. Have to... Yeah, there we go. Secrets, secrets. Money. Money and a unicorn horn. Good to have. Empty room. Okay, now we're over on this side. We want to get up over there. So how do we do that? Okay, it looks like that secret passage down below is the way to it. So, through here... have to climb up. Not here. We'll find it. Okay, yeah, now we're on the right track. This is where we wanted to be, and the exit is just a little up here. Okay, that's it. Save our game. Make sure we're all rested. Morrowind is not for 4 years? This came out in 1996. I think Morrowind was 1999, 2000. Okay, this is the wilderness. So, basically we don't really want to travel through the wilderness directly. The game world is huge. We can find a lot of cool stuff once we get a horse later on and can travel a little better. But I mean, the game is absolutely huge. Let's see. What is my key to bring up my world map? Travel map, V. Okay. So I'm in Daggerfall. Here's where I am. And basically we've got everything we know about on the map right now. So I'm going to turn off dungeons, I'm going to turn off temples, I'm going to turn off homes, and I'm just going to pick the nearest town. So the nearest town is Gothway Garden. Now when we travel, we can choose to do so cautiously or recklessly. If we travel recklessly, we'll get there sooner, but, you know, something bad might happen. We can choose whether we're going to camp out or stay at inns. Again, it's just all about managing your risk. I'm just going to travel on foot. We'll camp out. Here we go. There we go. We made it to the first town. And that is a good time for me to take a break. I am going to get some more water. I am going to grab a little snack. Then I will be back to play for a little bit more. Thanks everyone who has come out so far. I will be back. We are back. I am rehydrated and I am ready to go. Alright, so I'm just going to put my weapon away because I am in town and I don't want to accidentally attack anyone. Now I think what I want to do first off is try and join some of the guilds so that I can get some work and get some training. So hopefully there's a mages guild and a fighters guild here in town. Okay, so I'm standing right in front of one guild. This looks like a fighters guild. That's I read that? Alright. Okay, well this is clearly a mages guild. Hey man. What's up, dude? Ask him about the mages guild. So this is conversation. Basically, you can choose what tone you're going to do it in. Depending on who you're talking to, different tones might work better. But also you have different skills, or you might have different skills that would help you with this. So if you had etiquette, you would be better with a polite tone. And if you had streetwise, you'd be better with the blunt tone. I don't really have either. We're just going to go with normal. And I'm going to ask this guy about the Fighters Guild. I found the Mages Guild. Right, I want to ask him about the Fighters Guild. Not too far to the south, if you don't mind walking. Tell me about. Okay, so there's all sorts of things we can ask about. I am not going to bore the viewers. I'm going to ask where we are. So I'm in the Mages Guild in Gothway Garden. Yes, sadly, there's no flirty tone to choose from. Maybe if I just take off all my armor and then try talking, maybe that'll work. Let's ask about the Mages Guild. He should know about that. So the Mages Guild is pretty much what the name suggests. Organization for all varieties of spellcasters to get together and teach each other. So mages are no longer solitary types. That's good. Anything else I want to know about? Let's ask him about any local news. Nothing nice to say. Okay. Alright, goodbye, man. So, first off, let's join the guild. So we can join the Mages Guild. Guilds have requirements in this game. It's not like Skyrim where you can just walk into the Winterhold Mages College, never casting a spell in your life, and they're like, great, yeah, come on in. We actually have to have a certain rating in our magic skills for us to both join and advance in the Mages Guild. So we're clearly worthy to join the Mages Guild. And as we advance in rank, we'll be able to do more things. So yes, I am interested in joining. So I am Ulbrendt the Unready, apprentice of the Mages Guild. And as we get better and do more quests for them, we'll be able to do more stuff, get more rewards. First things first, though, I want to buy some spells. So our spellbook here is pretty limited. We've got Shock, which I was using a lot to damage enemies. We've got Chameleon, which sort of makes me more stealthy. And we've got Slow Falling, which protects me from falling damage. And you know, that's all great and good, but I could use some other spells. So let's see if we can find a guy who's going to teach us how to learn some more spells in here. I'm really just poking around. I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going. I have not played this game since I was 11 or 12. Okay. Unattended fire, always good. More books. Alright, I can't access the library yet. What's in here? Books. Will no one teach me spells? Okay, this guy. Oh yeah. He's clearly moved beyond the physical world. Although he's kind of buff. Yes, so this is the guy who I can buy spells from. I have 385 gold. Let's see. So, Belena's Bomb will heal us a little bit. We'll take that spell. Buoyancy, what does that do? Gives us water walking, so we can walk on water Jesus style. Don't need that for now, but it's pretty cheap. Let's see what else we got. Fenric's Door Jam, which will lock a door. some enemies can open doors, so if you hide in a room and close the door, they'll just open it and come get you unless you lock the door. But then you have the problem of you actually have to open the door afterwards too. Alright, what else do we got? What does heal do? Heal, heals health. Probably don't need that yet. This little number beside the name is how much magicka it costs to cast this spell. The lower it is, the more simple the spell is. You can see we've got some really powerful spells. Recall, we absolutely want. We need recall. We're going to buy that spell. So recall is the spell that will bring us back to the entrance of the dungeon. And as you saw, dungeons are freaking huge. So we are not going to go without recall. We're pretty much out of money. We're going to find somewhere to sell all our crap. Oh, maybe this guy will make magic items. No. So I think the Fighters Guild will have somewhere we can sell our crap. And we will unload everything we picked up in that dungeon. So, our man there said it was not too far to the south. So all these blue buildings are guilds. So I'm guessing that is the Fighters Guild or that is the Fighters Guild. But let's go for a run through town. Cemetery, it looks like. Let's see our map. Okay, we're almost there. On the other side of this building, maybe, there's some sort of guild. Does look like a special building. Let's see if we can find the entrance. So not only do you get services from guilds, but you also get work. Work is very important. No idea what that means. Let's find out. Okay. What is this place? Where the hell am I? Temple of Canarth. Oh, it's religion. This is a trap. Let's get out of here. Should have known from the sign. Where is the Fighters Guild? Oh, and nice. It does ID the building once we go into it for the first time. Let's see if we can find the Fighters Guild. That looks Fighters Guild-ish. Little keep. What is this place? Where am I? This is the Fighters Guild. Exactly where I want to be. Save my game. Join the guild. So they offer skill trainings, discounts on armor and weapon repairs, lots of work, and I can always rest here. That's perfect. So I'm an apprentice in the Fighters Guild now. Let's save my game. So let's see what we got. Who is here and what can they do for me? What about you, lady? Training. Repairs. I really just want somewhere to unload all this treasure that I got. But I guess I'll rest. Some of my skills improved. So it looks like I might not be able to sell stuff at the Fighters Guild. It's too bad. Tell me where the general stores are. Sorts of general stores. Let's just look on our map. We can explore. So orange are shops. Hopefully they're open at this hour. This is what? That's clearly a tavern. What do we got here? That's a general store, I think. Ah, it's locked, so we're gonna have to wait until morning. Let's just loiter. What time is it? How do I tell what time it is? 3:40 in the morning. Let's save our game. I don't know if loitering is illegal here. Loiter for 4 hours. Loiter more than... Okay. Loiter for 3 hours. Enemies. Archer, okay. I am beset by enemies in the middle of town. Yikes. What time is it now? Can't wait around for 2 hours without being attacked. Okay. Let's go in. Banking. It's a bank? Oh my god, okay. I don't really need to do any banking today. Bank of Daggerfall, okay. I really just want to find a place I can sell all this treasure. General store, okay. Hey dude, I want to sell a bunch of stuff. All this steel. I can't use any of that. Good enough. What else you got, man? Yeah, take these sandals. They'll give me 0 gold. Fine, I just want to get rid of them. Oh, so there's a bunch of stuff you wouldn't buy. I see. Alright, we're gonna have to find another shop to get rid of the other stuff. Dr. Mortisteer's gear, okay. This little... rusty relics. Right. Buy anything from me? Fine. Looks like there are more shops this way. It's a shop, I can't tell. General store, we'll try that. Still won't give us anything. Oh, we could buy a horse or a small cart. Eventually we will do that. A wagon is a super useful thing. Basically, we will loot a dungeon, use our recall spell to get back to the entrance, and throw everything in our wagon, and then we'll be able to go back in and get more treasure. At all general stores here? Looks like no one will buy that armor I picked up. No one. Alright, we got taverns, guilds. Let's check out the other guild, I guess, see what it is. This town is going to be our base of operations for the first little while. We're going to get ourselves established. Do some jobs for the guilds. Horses are nice. Ah! This might be what I need. Oh no, this looks like a temple too. Alright, what is this place? The Resolution of Zen. I don't know what that means. It looks pretty sad. Tell me about the Resolution of Zen. What does that mean? Not on our list of subjects. Oh, there we go. The Resolution of Zen. Tell me about that. God of work and commerce. A no-nonsense kind of deity. And his temples are so headstrong, they're called resolutions. So this is like the god of capitalism? Not sure how I feel about that. Can I sell anything to anyone here? I really just want to sell this armor that I found in the dungeon. Potions, I don't want to do that. I don't want to buy potions. Boring. So it looks like there isn't really anywhere to sell my stuff in town. So I may just need to spend my money on a wagon. But we will check out the local tavern and see what people are saying there. Alright, the tavern. Lively crowd. Tell me about stuff. The host of the True Horn is out to get the Fighters Guild. Alright. Good to know. I need someone to drop off an item for me, and there's 47 gold in it for me. Alright, let's do our first quest. We're gonna go across town and drop off an item. We need to bring it to Tristywyr Greenhouse. Special boots that her mother made for Tristywyr Greenhouse. Alright. Well, where is Tristywyr Greenhouse located? Well, this guy's rude. I'll ask you where Tristywyr Greenhouse is. Why is everyone being so mean to me? Polite. Wouldn't you like to know? No one likes me. I was even gonna buy a drink here. Hello. I would like to know where Tristywyr Greenhouse is. North, no, east. The Hearthford residence is southeast of where we are standing. Okay. Get marked on my map. It did not, I don't think. Southeast of where we are standing. Let's go southeast a little ways. And hopefully, we can ask someone else for directions in a little bit. You, sir. You, sir. Do you know where Tristywyr Greenhouse lives? Just southeast. Alright. Continuing southeast. Don't walk all the way out of town. Excuse me, ma'am. Where is Tristywyr Greenhouse? Why don't you try asking me like a normal human being would? Polite. People in this town are just mean. Normal tone. I just talk normally. Everyone hates me. What is my personality? My personality's not terrible. It's average. I have an average personality. Is this a town guard? Sir, please tell me. No kidding. Southwest of here, alright. Someone says come on in, alright. I'm just trying houses now. Does anyone even live here? Okay. Excuse me, I came into your house to ask you where Tristywyr lives. Around here. Okay. Haha, we found him. We found him. Here is the 47 gold she promised me. Amazing. There we go. We just did our first quest. We escaped from the dungeon and we brought Tristywyr a new pair of boots. I think that is where I'm going to leave it for the evening. Thank you everyone who came out and watched me play Daggerfall. I will be doing this again. There's a lot more for Ulbrendt the Unready to do before we are done. You're going to solve the mystery of the King's Ghost, Hamlet style. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again, everyone. I hope everyone has a great night.